We're talking about the S sound. S snakes. And when you make that sound, your teeth are coming together. S snake. S. So there's your S sound. And we're going to read the story called The Lonely Scarecrow. It's a fiction story, and it's written by Tim Preston. Now, if you were here in class and we were allowed to touch things, I'd have you touch the book because it's a relief book, meaning the pictures are all raised and it is delightful to read. But since you're in TV land, we're not supposed to touch stuff. So, yeah. In the middle of a field, under a sky the color of cornflower, stood a scarecrow. He had a scary face, but a kindly heart. More than anything, he wished the animals and birds would be his friends. Isn't that a lovely picture? But the creatures of the field were afraid of the scarecrow's flapping coat and big black hat. They were afraid of his beady eyes, his crooked nose, and his jagged metal mouth. I guess it does look a little scary. In the spring, the scarecrow watched the animals play at the edge of the field. He watched the birds as they made their nests. He watched their carefree tumblings of the cubs, the fox cubs, and rabbits. He listened to the noisy ducklings by the old pond. And all the time, the animals watched the scary scarecrow, but they never came near. Each day, the swaying wheat in the field grew taller. The scarecrow lost sight of the animals. He lost even the happy song of the lark, drowned out by the whispering of the wheat. Marooned in his golden sea, the scarecrow lost hope of ever making friends. Oh, that's so sad. Then the combine monster. This is a machine that, as it goes down the fields, it churns the wheat and it takes out parts of the wheat that you can use that they'll take to a mill to have it ground into flour. Then the combine monster came to harvest the wheat. The animals hid from his churning jaws and the ravaged acres of mud and stubble that it left behind. They also hid from the scarecrow, who stood alone now in the empty field. And see him all the way back there? He is very alone. From the north came a sly breeze that stole the leaves from the trees and the light from the days. The animals hurried home to their warm burrows and cozy nests. And the scarecrow felt even lonelier, for he knew that winter was coming. Oh, poor guy. Snow fell heavily one night and kept on falling. It fell on the bare, still woods and on the silent fields. Slowly it covered the ground where the scarecrow stood. And I don't know if you can really see, but there are snowflakes here that are touchable. If I just angle it, maybe you could see it a little bit right at the top. In the morning, the animals woke to a world that had changed. A thick blanket of snow covered the frozen earth. The scarecrow seemed to have vanished too. In his place stood a jolly snowman. Look at the snowman. Isn't he adorable? Huh. The animals are looking at him. The creatures played happily in the field, rolling and tumbling in the snow around the scarecrow. And the scarecrow, well, he was as cheerful and bright as the sunny winter day. Oh, look at that smile. Oh, he's so happy. Although he was happy, the scarecrow was afraid of what would happen when he lost his snowy coat. He was afraid that the animals would shrink from his twisted shape. Most of all, he was afraid he would be alone again. And then the snow began to thaw. What do you think? Are the animals going to leave him? The snow slipped off the scarecrow's shoulders and dripped from the brim of his hat. When the last patches of snow fell from his face, the animals looked up in wonder. Could the friendly snowman be the same scary creature they had feared for so long? As the warmth of spring stirred the brown earth, the scarecrow felt a bird peck at his hat and a mouse nestle in the folds of his coat. And the scarecrow knew that he would never be lonely again. The end. Wasn't that adorable? Isn't it nice to have friends? I love it when it works out that everybody's friendly. And we did that for S snake. S. Speaking of snakes, guess what you're going to do at home? You're going to make a snake. Yep. Let me show you how that works. Oh, here's an S. And on the flip side, here's an example of what your snake will look like. So you're going to cut the S out, and then these are the pieces to glue on him. Here's his licky licky tongue. Here's his head, and you're going to glue it onto the S to make a snake. Make a pattern of it, color it, make it fun. You do not need to hand this back in to me, but it is fun and it is cute for snake. S. And then we have a smiling scarecrow. And on the scarecrow, he has patches, and the patches say the names of colors. So you're to look at it and say, oh, I wonder what that word is. And here at school, we have the color boards. But at home, maybe you're grown-ups or maybe you already know the color words. And if you have a hard time, just ask someone and color them in. There's your scarecrow. Then we have, this is very simple for S. It's the ABC song. Start here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So you're going to follow the letters to make an alphabet song. The last thing is this. We're getting close to Halloween. That's my favorite holiday. Wow! Okay, I'm calm now. And the directions tell you which shapes to color and what colors to use. There's lots of triangles. There are squares. There's rectangles. There's circles. Here's another rectangle, a triangle here, triangle. And it tells you which color to use for those shapes. And that's what you get to do. If you get to this, that's great. If you don't, that's fine too. Don't get all bent out of shape. I'm asking you to circle the word we in the sentence. See if you can recognize it. That's probably done with a grown-up. I am not worried if you don't get this done. Don't worry about it. I can tell you if you're able to read the word we in classroom or not. So I forgot to show you how to make an S. Well, silly me. What was I thinking? Sometimes. A lot of S words right there. Let me put the belly button in the lid. Whoop, belly button in the lid. Here we go with an S. So you go from the cloud to the ground. Now, S is a wiggly jiggly letter. So you go from the cloud to the ground. And the lowercase s, which is so challenging to some people, you start at the jet line and you go, ooh, wiggle, wiggle. If you break it down, it kind of looks like a C and then a backwards C. It takes a little getting used to if you don't have an S in your name. So again, you start at the cloud line and you go whoop, whoop. It is slippery. And a lowercase s this way. And there you go. So I hope you have a super silly delicious day. Have a great day. Bye, friends.